Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Kyle Longacre. I'm the Program Administrator for College and Career Readiness at Montgomery County Intermediate Unit, and welcome to our third episode of our MontcoWorks Now Industry Insights series. This series is funded through a partnership with Montgomery County Intermediate Unit and our MontcoWorks Now program, as well as the MontcoWorks Board. And we are pleased to receive this funding from the Business Education Partnership Grant from the state of Pennsylvania. And our goal with this series is to be able to promote high priority occupations, especially within businesses and nonprofits here within Montgomery County. And today we are pleased to be joined by Buddy Miller from Hardy Machines in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, and hear his story and hear more about his company. This is a opportunity for teachers, educators, and especially for students and parents to watch these webinar series and learn about the opportunities that may exist for them here within our county and the pathway of how to be able to move forward. We celebrate these opportunities and we celebrate the innovation and the hard work that's being done by our companies throughout this county. And that's what this series is all about. My co-host with me is Hakim Jones, one of our career counselors. I'll let him introduce himself.
Good day, everybody. I'm Hakim Jones. I am a college and career, career coach, career counselor here with the MontcoWorks Now program. I've spent several years in the workforce development arena. I enjoy working with both youth and adults. More particularly, we've spent many years working with those with more of a disadvantaged background in society. So these activities are amazing to expose our youth and our adults to the opportunities that are out here in Montgomery County, but also teaching them what it takes and how to get on board to some of our great companies throughout the county.
Thanks, Hakim. And again, our guest is Buddy Miller. Buddy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, gladly. My name is Buddy Miller. My real name is Dwight, but I don't prefer that. I like to be called Buddy. And Kyle and I were childhood friends. So I appreciate the invitation here, Kyle. A little bit about me. I have spent 25 years in manufacturing. Predominant amount of my career is spent in printing. Specifically entry level all the way to the top, which I'm pretty proud of. But since then, I've worked in manufacturing of furniture, and now here I am at Hardy Machine as an operations manager, plant manager. The majority of my background then would be in operations, including supervisions, management, customer service, all these good things, customer tours. So.
Well, we really appreciate it, and we appreciate Hardy Machines stepping up to the plate here and being part of this series. Montgomery County Intermediate Unit had funding for teacher in the workplace programs across 4 industries, and I have to say all of the industry tours that we've been doing in the past have been very interesting, but our manufacturing facilities in and throughout the county are really doing amazing things and amazing contributions. I've had the opportunity to tour Hardy Machines myself with Buddy a couple of years ago, and for young people to understand the amazing array of opportunities that exist within this industry is critical. And in many cases, this will keep our economic ship floating here within the county for many, many years to come because of the talent, because of the energy, because of the resources that we have here within Montgomery County. Buddy, I want to start off and ask you though, what's the day-to-day look like for you as a lead plant manager here within a manufacturing company in Montgomery County? What's all involved?
Well, at Hardy Machine, we are a 40,000 square foot facility. We occupy about 30,000 square feet of that. We have between 35 and 40 employees, some part-time, most full-time. My day-to-day here at Hardy Machine is somewhat different than my background. However, at Hardy Machine, I wear multiple hats, and that's what it takes to get the job done in a smaller company. It's a family-run business. It's been in the family for 60 years, so we do what it takes to get the job done. Specifically for me, I usually start my day at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I come in, address and meet the employees, welcome them, and thank them for coming in. But then it's off to the schedule, a schedule review. Every day I review the prior day's schedule to today's schedule and see what jobs were added in. I'll go through the schedule that the machinists or other work centers will follow to say which is the order that I want the orders to run in. Might be, do we have the material? Do we have all the necessary criteria for an assembly? Something like that. And then it's back and forth with my schedule, meeting other people as they're coming in. We have an open door policy. Kyle came and met us and visited here, but also for our employees, we're somewhat loose with the hours that the employees can work. And really, when I was being interviewed here, Bill said family first, and he really means that. And so if it's okay, best for an employee to come in at 6 in the morning and leave at 3, and they get their hours in, that's great. If they want to come in by 8 o'clock and work till 5 or whatever the hours would be, that's fine too. We try to accommodate that. But so as the day goes on, I'm meeting more people, trying to follow along on my emails, might be customer visits, checking to make sure that parts are to the specifications that they had asked for. Could be budgetary reviews. It's a lot different here at Hardy than it was when I was in the mid-sized company for large corporate world, but I really enjoy it. So a lot of it's self-driven day to day, but at the end of the day, we're here to deliver a quality product on time to the best of our ability. Our quality manual states we're here to meet or exceed the customer's expectations, and that would be with delivery quality at all. So for me, I have an idea when I leave today what my day's gonna look like tomorrow, but everything could change. Essentially, it's filling out and what orders are needed for the customer today and meeting that. And if I have to be the legs, if I have to be the conduit to get these things done, we do that.
What are the types of industries that you're creating products for? Where are these things all going? All these parts, all these different things?
Well, so we support the medical field. We support fluid and gas control, electronics, semiconductor, aerospace, transit and rail, water purification. And in this day and age, 2020, with what we're up against in society, we're actually manufacturing ventilator parts, which makes you feel good.
Well, let's take a moment here. We're going to watch a video that was created about a year ago from Manufacturing Marvels, and I'll share this. And part of these series is just some of the vocabulary of what we're going to be seeing here, and I'll ask you to comment on that as we go through. We're going to see some mills, some lathes, some CNC, and we're going to see what's involved with that. So just want to highlight those to the viewers, and let me share sound. This is Hardy Machine's website, again, located in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. And again, this series, like I shared before, is funded by the Business Education Partnership Grant of Pennsylvania, and we're trying to highlight businesses within Montgomery County. For our attendees on the call, as you're watching this video and you continue to hear insights from Buddy, I encourage you to add questions to our question and answer. So let's take a look at this video and we'll go from there.
Hi, this is John Criswell. Welcome to Manufacturing Marvels. Today, we're with Hardy Machine Corporation. Hardy Machine has been operated by the same family for over 60 years, and they continue to focus on one thing: the machining of high-quality, tight-tolerance parts that can stand up to high liquid and gas pressure. This passion for excellence has made them leaders in numerous industries, including medical, fluid and gas controls, electronics, semiconductor, aerospace, rail and automotive transit, and water purification. Their customers benefit from their expertise, commitment to quality and exceptional service, as well as financial stability. Through significant capital investments, certifications, and training, Hardy Machine is committed to pursuing ongoing advancements in technology to ensure the ongoing value of their services. From their 30,000 square foot facility in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, just northwest of Philadelphia, they offer a simple promise for their customers: state-of-the-art equipment, all jobs large and small, superior quality control, flexibility in their supply chain, and friendly personal service. As the manufacturing labor challenge continues to evolve, corporations' abilities to identify, recruit, hire, and retain skilled manufacturing personnel becomes more difficult and more expensive. Hardy Machine has proven over and over again to be an excellent choice to help ensure that your products reach the market on time, on budget, and with the highest quality standard. Hardy Machine is ISO 9001-2015 certified and offers complete part traceability. You can count on Hardy Machine to serve you for many generations to come, and you can visit them and view their state-of-the-art facilities at hardymachinellc.com. This is John Criswell for Manufacturing Marvels.
All right, there we go. So again, what's a couple of things that we were seeing there? What within that video, what's some of the main components of the plant?
Well, so we have, I would say we're moderately automated, but all of our machines are CNC lathes or mills, which means they're computer generated programs that drive the machine, right? And so we have some robotics, we have some automation, but predominantly it's mills and lathes, different varieties of manufacturers. Each machinist has at least 2 machines that they watch. Normally it's in a machine group, so same manufacturer type, and highly skilled workforce here. Well-maintained machines. Our owner Bill always says, "I love to spend money." He recognizes when the stable needs to be recycled. Also, he's not shy from buying new machines. But recently, in the last 3 months, we purchased 3 newly used machines. And yeah, we went into another 10,000 square feet in the back of our room. So we're expanding, and that's the hope here, is that we fill out the 40,000 square feet. But mills, lathes, Morisiki, Star, Linux controllers, Kiwa, Nakamura. These things might mean to some of the machine students, but yeah, fully automated with bar feeders, so that the machines essentially run themselves once you program them. So there is a lot of human element into it. But some of the other things you might have saw, we do deburring, where we might have a machine make a burr in the part, and we have someone go in with an eye loop and look and try to pick those burrs out. A lot of times the machine can do it itself on a pass, but when you're up against trying to create an order, meet the time, meet the quote, there's a cycle time. So if we can't get it done on the machine, we might move it over towards the burring department. Everything here gets washed and prepped for the customer. We're not just going to machine a part and send it off dirty. So that's some of the things you might have saw a guy lifting the baskets into the tanks. We also do assembly here, some general assembly. You saw some soldering that was done, that's being done in our building here, and that mostly supports the fluid and gas control. It's kind of funny, my daughter was getting cavities filled, and one of the meter bodies that was at the dentist, we actually manufactured that part. And so I stopped the dentist and said, "Hey, while my daughter's laughing here, I'm laughing too, because we make that part." So it's pretty neat. We also receive parts. We have a full area in the back where we stock raw inventory. We're receiving orders in every day. Could be anything from 1/4-inch round material to 5-inch square. Very robust, very dynamic workforce here. Again, under control, but we have, I would say, 6 different areas within the plant. And then we have our front office who does sales, purchasing, support, customer service. And we all like to feel that we're in customer service, I spent a lot of my career, my personal career, playing sports, as Kyle knows. Kyle and I used to play, and Kyle Lonecker is a fantastic athlete, whether he's older now or not, but he used to put me to shame. And so being the team,
Quite a bit older right now.
yeah, there you go. So, but with that team concept, it transcends. If you really, I coach softball too, and now I'm coaching baseball with my son. But the one message that I like to try to give is, instead of hearing what I'm saying, really listen to what I'm saying. And if you listen to sports and listen to the team concept, it really transcends into life and success in life, teamwork, securitiveness, dedication to a craft or a sport. So we like to think that we're all teammates here. I don't promote myself as everyone's boss. Am I? Yes. But I like to say that I'm a teammate. Some days I'm there to make them superstars. Sometimes they're there to help me out. Whatever needs to be done, that's what we ask of everyone, to be a teammate of others.
Thank you, buddy. So I had a question. Your career seems to be pretty diverse. What has led you into a career in manufacturing, and how has your past experiences prepared you for what you're doing today?
Well, I would like to say that, my story is somewhat unconventional. Raised in a religious household, went to church with Kyle, played sports, good family, but we didn't have the means that others might have had around me. For the longest time, I carried this like a badge, like a chip on my shoulder. But once I started working in the workforce, I couldn't afford college out of high school. So what happened was I found a job, and that was at a printing company. And I started entry level, and the next thing you knew, I got a promotion. And the next thing you knew, I got a promotion. I'd go to Alaska to visit my sister, and I'd come back and I got another promotion. I'd go get her away for a wedding in Alaska again, and I got another promotion. And what it's telling me is that my drive, my work ethic, I show up for work every day. I always ask, is there something else I can do? that was me in my early 20s. And I became a supervisor in my mid 20s, a manager before I had a degree. I was the first of its kind in our company. But I really think it leads back to drive, work ethic. And those are the kind of students, kind of employees we're trying to find now. You cannot teach want. You cannot teach passion. You cannot teach drive. You can teach skill. But, for me, I was simply trying to get my way back to college, but I kept receiving these promotions, and I'm a math guy, right? Kyle and I were in some really advanced classes, but I'm a math guy. And so it didn't make sense for me to go to college because I didn't want to take on that debt. So I kept getting promotions, but there came a strategic point in my career where I said, hey, if I want to be relevant in a management review meeting, or when we're going over capital expenditures or a budgetary review, I need to understand what they're talking about. So I went back to school with a family, went to school at night for 10 years, got my associate's degree, and then I went into an accelerated bachelor's program, 4 kids, 60 hours a week, doing these things at night. But it was very important for me that I had the means, that I had the education, that I knew where I wanted to go. If you would have asked the 18-year-old me, I simply wanted to get back to college, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. But as I went through life, I realized, hey, I like to hustle, I like to think, I like to help, and I like to move things. So manufacturing was perfect for me. And as I rose through the supervisory and management ranks, I like to believe that the way that I communicate to others and the way that I am empathetic or sympathetic, or to be blunt, honest with people, got me to where I was. If I could reach out to any student, I think I told Kyle this when he was here a few years ago. For the longest time, like I said, I wore it like a badge or a chip. But then I realized I do have a story to tell, and I give it to my older daughters who are now in college age. Before they went to college, I tried to get them to go to community college and then latch on to an employer so that they could maybe help them with tuition reimbursement, because I really believe that a small percentage of high schoolers, maybe up into their early 20s, really know what they want to do. They think they might know, and maybe they do know, and that's fantastic. But a very small majority really know what they want to do. I found my way through. But my suggestion for anyone would be trades, supply and demand curves. If you look at the trades, electricians, plumbers, machinists, something like these things, the demand is so high, yet the supply is so low. And essentially, you can have the world by its own oyster here. For me, in my experience, would I want to do it again? No. Am I glad at where I'm at? Yes. Working in a large corporate world, and then my next job was in an even larger world, and then coming here, I think actually really prepared me to learn about this culture and deal with our employees. When I was a young 20-something supervisor, I was so driven on get the schedule, get this machine running, do this, do that. But when you really look at it, it's about relationships. It's about what is Kyle's personality type? What is Hakim's? What is Buddy? If I can ask Hakim, hey, how'd your son make out with his baseball game yesterday? And hey, Buddy remembered that. It's that personal touch. It might sound very cliche-ish or very kind of weak, but that's what matters. People come to work to get a paycheck, but they also come because they want to matter.
Well, and Buddy, I think you're really touching on some key themes here, and I want to highlight a few and then see what this looks like. Part of this series, this business education partnership series and with industry, is helping young people and their parents and their counselors and their teachers to understand where the jobs are actually at. And, with COVID, we saw a lot of layoffs. We saw a lot of shutdowns. We saw some reemergence now as we're moving things forward. Has your industry shifted, and is there still projections? I mean, we've heard this from multiple employers coming around here, especially within manufacturing here, but your career outlook, your industry outlook as to what this looks like, how has that impacted business at Hardy?
Simply, this is something we've never seen before. And simply, this is something that we are not prepared for as an individual, as a person, be that at our age or a child online. This is amazing. I would have loved to sit in front of Kyle and do this together, sitting side by side with my brother, but we're on a Zoom meeting. That's the truth. What it did to our industry, I remember when, it first hit the fan, so to speak. I called my president and said, does this mean that we're going to have to shut down? And we were deemed an essential business from the start because we're supplying fluid and gas that's going to hospitals, that's going to maybe dentists, not as much as hospitals, but water purification. We are supplying parts for sewage treatment plants. We got to keep the water flowing. We got to keep the waste flowing. And like I said, one of our largest customers that we gained last year, we are creating ventilator parts. We're making 420 of these a week, and we're supplying these parts through next April. So, you know, what did it do to our business? Of course, you saw a downturn, but it's come back stronger than ever. And I really want to believe, and I really do believe, because I've heard it from our customers, because we deliver on time, we deliver a quality product, and if we say it's going to be today, it's going to be today. And so we did see a little bit of a downturn, but you know, the sky's the limit here at Hardy. We've had a great year after a great year after a great year, and even COVID couldn't slow us down. Now, as a society, it is slowing us down, and we have to be very conscious in the workplace. Our machinists might work, I'm looking out here on the floor out of my window, 50, 60, 70 feet apart. We don't ask them to wear a mask when they're standing in their own work area, but if they go over to talk to their peer, maybe talk about tooling or, hey, have you run this part before? Put a mask on. If you're going to go out to the bathroom, please, or go for a lunch break in the cafeteria, please put a mask on. Anyone that comes into our plant, put a mask on. And, you know, again, we have never seen this as a society, and it's hard for me to do because maybe you could tell I like to talk, and that's to my father, but, you know, we have to be able to communicate and be responsible and be educated. Our front office has done a great job informing the employees, following the guidelines, and all we can do is ask that everyone follows these. You know, and it could be as strange as I just hired an employee within the last 3 weeks. He had a prearranged vacation. Never dawned on me to ask where he was going. When he returns to work, we have to do the temperature checks, and these are all things that we are able to do, and we do, to keep that safety of the employees in mind. But it definitely slowed us down, but we're excited for the future. We're just hoping, just like everyone else, that there is an end in sight. Some of our customers and the different products that we make for them, it stopped, like a hard stop. And now we're seeing them come back. But again, some of these other entities, some of these other businesses, their demand ramped up. Ventilators, you know, we're supporting the bodies and the actually like the baffles, the diaphragms that can create the air. I mean, it makes you feel good.
So Buddy, thank you for that. Quick question. We work with a lot of young people transitioning into the real world. Many are high school graduates. Some of them may have done a few semesters at the community college and they're back to work. Mm-hmm. What does employment look like for a young person fresh out of high school who's looking to get into a manufacturing, a Hardy type company? What does the entry level roles look like? And what's required and what's expected of young people that want to survive and succeed in the world of manufacturing? You know, in the last, since COVID, right? It's like it's a swear word, I don't know. But since then, we have had people go out on intermittent leaves or go out because their child has to stay home and now they're caring for them. So we've actually hired many people here in the last 6 months, so much more than we have in the other few years that I've been here. Entry level, we've hired drivers, we've hired people into different roles. And historically, Hardy Machine likes to hire experienced machinists that can program, that can set up, that can operate. But then there's other areas within the plant to nurture and to build and to maybe mentor an employee. Maybe not so much of an apprenticeship, but you know, speaking with Kyle and some of the other high school tech trade programs, you know, 20 years ago, a machine shop course might have had 30 individuals per class, meaning the juniors had 30 and the seniors had 30 and the sophomores had 30. Now they have 30 between 9th and 12th grade. So it's a little bit different now. Entry level, we are actually hiring right now for experienced machinists. And that doesn't mean that necessarily have to do a full program or run in the CAD/CAM system, but someone that can operate or manually work themselves through the coding
We're hiring machinists right now. We also are going to be hiring for like general assemblers. We have 2 laser engravers and they're really neat, but we have such a demand now with one of our new customers that I'm probably going to have to buy or hire an employee here soon. And what does that mean here at Hardy Machine? And what I'm going to say is I'm going to go back to what Bill Hardy said to me on my interview and that I give at every interview. And he said it so eloquently and it's so simple, yet I love it. He said to me, want to hire for the attitude, want to hire for that right person to fit our culture. And we can train for the skill. I don't know if you can get an idea of me, I'm going to back up, but he says it like this. He goes, your ceiling is your ceiling. You think back to some of the things that I said with getting promotions and I didn't even realize I go on vacation. Apparently others thought that my ceiling was higher than what I had. You want to be, for an entry-level employee, Hakim, for a person coming in from high school, you don't want to be sitting on your cell phone. You don't want to be sitting idly by. You want to be that person that says, is there something else I can do for you? Be on task, be on time, report to work. Bill says your ceiling is your ceiling. If your ceiling's here, well, then we can find a role that fits your ceiling. But if your ceiling's way up here, the sky's the limit for you. We will get you the training, we'll get you the education, we'll get you everything because it serves both paths. So
Nice.
my answer is okay for you, Hakim, but really, it really comes back to the individual. What are they willing to do? One of our machinists said it most recently here. Do you look at it like it's a job or are you looking at it like this could be a career for me? And I think that really sums it up pretty well.
No, perfect. And I think it's important for us to mention that as a MontcoWorks Now program, and even our partner with CareerLink, our goal, we use the term skill up, in workforce. So you may have that young person who loves their job at the grocery store. They're doing exceptionally well, stocking shelves and unloading trucks and doing all the above. So a program like ours or a program like the CareerLink, our goal would be is to help that person skill up and prepare them for a Hardy Machine type position. So, we really push clients, we really push our youth and our adults to skill up. So do you see those type of opportunities happening within your company where you have entry-level workers that are able to train and work their way up?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our industry, right? If you look at being a machinist, being a machine shop, what does that really mean? Well, if you're in a machine shop program, you would understand what I'm saying, but it's general manufacturing, right? These things are computer-driven machines. We're making anything from a part that you need to look at under a microscope up to something that might be 2 feet wide by 5 foot around or 5 inches around. What does that mean? Well, our workforce is such here that a machinist, when we were young, many moons ago, they were everywhere. Nowadays, everyone might be more geared towards an academic career in something more specific to not using your hand. A machinist program here, we probably have an average age of upper 40s to mid 50s here. So there will be a need at some point for us to say, who are the next employees to not replace these guys because they're fantastic and girls, but how do we perpetuate and move forward? We had one student that we have been working with for 3 years now. He is now 19 years old, and he's at Penn Tech in, Williamsport with the World Series. Okay. He's going to be returning to us hopefully in the summer, but we put that investment in that we were letting him work part-time through high school, match it up with the curriculum. So he was learning stuff here and applying it there and applying it here and vice versa. And we worked with him through, but that's the way you're going to have to do it. We have I wouldn't say an aging workforce, but we're going to have to systematically hire Hakim within the next 2 to 3 years. What does that mean? A majority of our time at Hardy Machine has not been, let's make an apprentice program, but we might have to go that direction to say, here I have a gentleman that's been on this machine for 30 years. Let me put a newer skilled person with them that within 2 to 3 years, maybe they can pick up the skill set. As we all know, 10,000 hours to master a task, right? If you're going to work 50 hours a week, that's 4 years or whatever it would be. You can't do it overnight. So we have to do this logically, Hakim, and work our way through it. There are going to have to be some positions where we actually put a newer employee with a seasoned vet and see if some of those skill sets can translate and move on to other employee. But for right now, we're basically just hiring more of the entry level positions. But again, if the right student comes along with the right background, with the right drive, and he's recommended from a instructor, and they say this student is one of my top students, and they always go above and beyond, these are the people that I want to speak to. These are the people that I want to speak to, because I'm not here to just be average. I'm here to be great for these employees of mine and my teammates.
Buddy, I'm going to prompt you something you shared with us right when we were prepping for the call here, a little bit about the attributes of young people and some of the skills that they have. But I know that I'm looking at one of the questions that we have, and it'll feed back into this, I believe, and some of our participants that are on this call. Montgomery County, and I mentioned before, this series is funded through a business education partnership grant. So we want to highlight our businesses, but we also want to highlight our education partners, which includes our 22 school districts and the excellent technical education programs that they have. Our career and technical centers, we have 5 within Montgomery County. They have machining programs, welding programs, electrical programs. Mechatronics is continuing to grow. Robotics is continuing to grow. North Montco and Eastern is adding a new center. We've had several students and interns that have come from the Western Center from their welding and machining program as well. But anytime when I was a high school assistant principal and I would see students entering these programs, I'd say thumbs up, good work. We know there's so many opportunities there. And so, realizing the opportunities that are there, what are the types of attributes of a young person, just the general skill sets, general interests that would feed into a job like this?
Yeah, thank you for that, Kyle. Thanks for reminding me. My mind's a little bit scattered sometimes, and I'm so excited. But speaking with Phil, our owner, when I was a kid, let's relate it this way. When I was a kid and my chain would fall off my bicycle, I would flip it upside down and I would fix it. If the model that I just put together, if it broke, I would want to put it back together. If your radio stopped working, take it apart and figure it out. Do you have that interest to say, let me take something apart and make it better? Let me try to fix it. Those are the basic skill sets that would start to become someone that we would want. Now, it also works into the being on time, being respectful. Are you coachable? I was a coach for many years in softball, and now my little boy is now in baseball, but we say it all the time. Can you be coachable? Can you be coachable? And that's just basic communication. It could be verbal communication. It could be electronic communication. Can you communicate? First and foremost, it's a different era than Kyle and I grew up in. We didn't have cell phones. We barely had video games, but put the thing away. Put that thing away when you report to work. It's okay to receive an emergency phone call, but if you don't see me on my phone, please, by all means, put it away. It's so hard to separate. I see my children doing it, my own children, separate themselves from the phone. But you got to be a person, first and foremost, in a business world, and that's how you're going to promote yourself. So hopefully that answered your question. But for me, someone that wants to get their hands dirty, someone that's curious, someone that has some sort of a mechanical ability to say, I want to try to do something. The drive, the dedication, the heart, and wanting to help others is really big. Like, you want to get your own paycheck and go home and buy your car or whatever you want to do, or get clothing or whatever you want to do with it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to relationships again. And you have to want to help others to get somewhere in this world. And whether it's at Hardy Machine or anywhere else, be kind to others, help those out, and everything comes back to you tenfold.
I think, buddy, of the company that your father worked for many, many years, my great uncle had helped to start that company. And with my grandfather, they started that on a farm. I grew up on the farm. You visited the farm, and we worked in the shop. We fixed equipment, and we had more opportunities for these types of hands-on, putting things together, taking them apart. They break, they're going to break. So you got to fix them.
It's going to happen.
So, recognizing, I think for educators and counselors, the more we're able to, and parents, and for young people, especially during COVID, learning to fix things, learning to use, what tools do you have available? What troubleshooting can you do? What YouTube video can you watch to try to fix it and try to learn it? I think can be such helpful skill sets for young people to have right now.
One more thing is that, I never really realized it, and I really feel like I missed my calling, because this is really amazing. I like to think of these machinists as artists, what they can do with these machines. It's really quite amazing, but there's a lot of mathematics to it, right? A lot of geometry, a lot of macros inside the programs to change tool paths, to save a half second here, to create this, create that. A carbide drill might react different to a high speed still. So I might be able to push this hard with this one and this hard with that one. There's a lot of mathematics, trigonometry, geometry, and a lot of higher level math that, I mean, if you're not a great math student, doesn't mean you can't be a machinist, but really people that use their hands and love math or have a good, genuine understanding of math will do well at this.
I appreciate you saying that. And Hakim, I don't want to, if you have additional questions, I invite our attendees as well. If they have additional questions, we want to try to wrap up in about 5 or 8 minutes or so. But you mentioned art and design. Again, where I see young people really engaged is in their art classes, in their design classes, in pottery, in ceramics, and they're using a wheel. They're using which you shift the material from clay to metal, and you have your lathe, you have your mills, you have your adhesions that are needed. But it requires precision. It requires an eye for how can we make this work? How do we troubleshoot and piece these things together? But you mentioned it earlier, and I've seen it so many times in Montgomery County companies. The final product is going out and helping the world. It's helping. Sure. It's helping the hospitals run. It's helping surgeries that are taking place and medical devices that are being used all over the world. We're shipping these products in so many different ways. We're producing food. We're producing major food manufacturing that's taking place here in our county, really, as a great opportunity. I see another question in the chat there. Hakim, do you want to ask that one, or do you have additional questions?
Sure. So we had 2 questions in the chat. One was actually pretty much answered through Buddy's speaking about what students need. So one question was, what would you suggest to a high school student who is interested in joining our company? And I believe you touched on that as far as what you're looking for in a young person. The next question is from another educator. Are there internships, shadowing opportunities available for high school students at Hardy Machines?
Well, I think maybe because our plant size, it's difficult for us just with financial, the financial world that we live in here. It is a business. And so we have to watch the amount of money we spend. We can't just bring in employees to shadow or things like that, or things could go the wrong way. Now, doesn't mean we're not going to go that way in the future, like I discussed earlier. We don't have internships right now. We don't have shadowing right now, but I really believe within the next year, we probably have to start shifting that way, but more specific towards a machine shop student, machine shop employee like that. We will be hiring some general assembly or operating a laser or engraver here probably within the next 3 months, but it's not like we have 50 open positions. Some larger companies have that. We don't have a lot of turnover here too, which I think speaks to our culture that we have here as well. But no, unfortunately, we don't have internships or shadowing right now.
I mentioned and the pathways that we see, and I just want to make sure I name, students that are taking the courses. Some of them are some of the CAD types of programming, the computer programming that can lead into some of the coding of these larger machines. Shifting over to the career and technical centers to recognize that there are machining programs available here in Montgomery County. There are evening programs that are available in Montgomery County for adult employees that are looking to shift or pivot careers. North Montco, close by to you in Hatfield there, buddy, has a strong machining program, welding program. You mentioned Penn College of Technology. I've seen many former students do amazing things as they continue their education on in metallurgy, in the welding, in welding engineering. And when I look at how complex your machines are and how complex the programming that goes into it, this is high tech, and we desperately need this workforce, to be able to keep these companies moving forward. So some amazing opportunities in these areas.
And buddy, if I could just real briefly, I know we're running out of time, but you mentioned some good things about working for Hardy Machines and how you run your business. What are the benefits and perks of working in the world of manufacturing? I know one, you mentioned hours that could be flexible and accommodating to the family lifestyle. And then also, young people always want to know about the financial futures in careers. So could you kind of touch on some benefits that touch on the manufacturing world? I'm an honest guy, and I think either in manufacturing, either you love it or it's not for you. I mean, there is such a pressure and a stress sometimes for schedules, commitments, deliveries, managing a workforce. It can be quite difficult, but if you're into
I like to look at everything like it's a puzzle or it's a game and I'm trying to win or I'm trying to solve it. And if you have one of those minds, then supervision or management is more for you, but it's very difficult at times. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the career choice for everybody, but for me, what brings me to work every day, I work way more than 40 hours a week, but it's because I want to. I work way more than 40 hours a week because I feel like I owe that to our president who treats us very well and is very generous. It all goes back to that culture. His father started this business in 1957. It's been in the same family's hands, and that's perpetuating. We have some of his children working here now too. And that motto of serving the customer, the original customer that Bill's dad was making parts, kind of like what you're saying in the farm, in the barn. We still have that customer today after 63 years. And I really think that speaks to the culture, to the delivery, to the relationship that's there. Again, it was simply the hardest assessment I had to go through to be hired by Hardy Machine. And we perpetuate that. The culture here is everything. I was here for about 2 to 3 months and I asked the college question to Bill, what differentiates Hardy in the marketplace? And really it comes back to our culture for our internal customers, our employees, and for our external customer. You can pick up a phone and get a hold of any one of us immediately. There's nothing to hide here, open door policy, and we deliver and we have quality products.
Buddy, we really appreciate your time. Again, to our viewers, this series is funded through the Pennsylvania Business Education Partnership Program and MontcoWorks and MontcoWorks Now. We continue to do everything we can to promote youth workforce efforts and promote our businesses here within Montgomery County. So we thank you and Hardy Machines. For students and parents and counselors that are interested, the website hardymachines.llc.com provides a good overview of the opportunities and the many different industries that are fed into by products that are coming through Hardy Machines. And again, Montgomery County is home to many excellent manufacturers with outstanding opportunities. We really appreciate your time. Hakim, thank you for your time as well. And for our viewers, again, continue to follow us on MontcoWorks Now YouTube channel, where we will post webinars as we continue to produce this series. You can also follow us on at MontcoWorks Now on Facebook and Twitter. And we encourage you to promote these across different social media so that we can inform students, inform parents of the many different high priority areas of occupations within Montgomery County. So thank you all and enjoy your day.
Thank you.